Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So I have to start the first video now with saying that there was a mix-up, and the Kang boss fight that was showcased and broken down is going to be 7.3 final boss instead of Summer of Pain, which kind of makes sense, but at the same time kind of took me by surprise because 7.3 is not scheduled for another like month and a half, 2 months. But either way, it's still very useful to know what that fight is going to be about, because so many of us are going to be jumping in and dealing with that Kang boss. However, on Summer of Pain front, we do have new developments, and once again, Code the Goth, the same guy who has been data mining the previous leaks and has had extremely great track record, has also data mined the Week 9 boss and also the final quest. So when it comes to Week 9, we are going to be dealing with Ghost, and then I'm going to show whatever is going to happen afterwards. So if you want to follow him directly, then I will leave a link to this video in the video description. Go check him out. He also has a Twitter where he posts all sorts of updates. But let's break down Week 9, and that is the Ghost. So the Ghost's most interesting node is going to be this Haunted. When the defender dashes back, the attacker is faltered for 3 seconds. All debuffs are then purified and converted into 100% fury buff for 10 seconds. Falter is not affected by ability accuracy, and any damage dealt whilst faltered is reflected back. So even if you ignore falter whilst the buff is active, whilst the debuff is active on you, you can't really attack Ghost unless you're using Namor. So that is going to be interesting. I want to see how those interactions are going to work out with several skill champions, for instance, like Shang-Chi or somebody who can easily get rid of that falter. So we're going to have to kind of strategize for the best options. And then obviously we're going to have to see the objectives that are going to be for Week 9. So on top of falter, we have no hit, no mercy. Each time the defender is knocked down, they gain a cruelty buff, granting 350% critical damage rating for 10 seconds. And then she will also have Spite. Now, Spite in fight against Ghost is not really the scariest node, I think, anyways, but it's still worth keeping in mind that it is going to be there. And then obviously we have True Focus, Stun Immunity, and Mystic Ward on top of all of that. Because if there wouldn't be Mystic Ward, and even maybe with Mystic Ward, there is a very good chance for a Dr. Doom cheese, because this says enemy nullify effects. I'm not entirely sure if it affects stagger, but never mind, there is stun immunity, so we'll see what happens, but I'm sure there will be some interesting interactions to be seen. So that is going to be Week 9, starts on Wednesday. In 2 days, I will be streaming it live with all the objectives, with everything else. We're going to see what happens. And then we're going to have that special quest, and that special quest actually caught me by surprise when I first saw it. And that is going to be this map. You're going to have to clear it 6 times. Each time you're going to have to do 3 fights. 2 of the previous week fights. And then also the Grandmaster fight. Now, the Grandmaster is the fight that they mentioned to us that has given us nightmares before. Basically, if you have a chance, polish off your Grandmaster fights. Maybe it's a good chance to get some experience in against him if you have, let's say, completed the quest and haven't explored or something, because Grandmaster will be the final boss of Summer Pain. And then we're going to have to do Darkhawk and Rogue. Then we're going to have to do Mysterio and Rogue. Then we're going to have to do Emma Frost and Domino, Symbiote Supreme and Domino, Venom, and that Symbiote Robot, and Mr. Sinister and Symbiote Robot. So we're going to have to run it 6 times. In the original images here, it was shown as you can only bring in 1 champion to do it. So you're not going to have a team, you're going to have to pick 1 champion who is able to do all three fights. Now, that might change. However, I don't think it will. I think they will leave it as is, where you bring in 1 champion and how to do all 3 of those fights. So that means you more than likely will have to use some items, well, for vast majority of the people. I think in the initial day, I will just try to get it explored, and then I will try to do some itemless sets of 3 fights or something like that. We'll see. I haven't quite figured out. But that's going to be quite interesting. If you can only bring in one champion, then you're going to have to figure out somebody, let's say, that can take Mysterio and Rogue. And in case of Rogue, technically any champion can do it, but obviously, ideally, you wanted like She-Hulk or a whole bunch of like different, better options, right? So it's going to be quite interesting to like mix and match. Like against Venom, you could use pretty much any champion, and that Symbiote Supreme, that Adaptoid boss, ideally you want to have, again, like She-Hulk or somebody else who can deal with those abilities better. So yeah, She-Hulk is going to be a perfect option for Venom and that Adaptoid boss, for instance. Then we have Mr. Sinister, an Adaptoid boss, and it's going to be interesting to refresh kind of like which champions can double up here really well. And then obviously we're going to have to tackle Collector. Now, at the moment, we have pretty much no knowledge about the rewards, which kind of sucks. We do know that the next week is also going to give us just the 1 gold. And, well, first things first. First, we're going to have to deal with the Ghost, and then I will try to figure out kind of like better champion options for select paths or something like that. So once again, all of this information was data mined by CodeTheGoth, and all the credit goes to him. He has been extremely accurate in everything he does before. The only kind of like thing now that has been that mix-up in between Kang being 7.3 boss instead of Summer of Pain boss. But nonetheless, all of that Kang video is still going to be very useful. I actually changed the thumbnail and updated the title on that video. So here it's going to be Grandmaster first that we have to deal with. I am personally very excited, and I think it will definitely kind of present a really, really, really good challenge for all of us as well. And yeah, it's more than likely that this isn't going to be an easy walk in a park kind of like exploration. I'm thinking whether should I try to do it itemless over the course of 2 weeks, or should I just blitz it and then try to re-explore it. I'll probably end up blitzing it, using up some revamps, because what's the point of the revamps otherwise? And yeah, no, this looks interesting. I like it. I know that there are going to be a lot of people who don't like it, but I think I do. As far as it goes for the Ghost fight, I think it's going to be straightforward enough. I don't see anything too crazy, pending how that haunted node works. If we can work around that haunted node with a simple debuff purification, then it will not be too bad. If it's passive falter, then it might be a bit trickier, but it should be okay anyways. Right, let me know what you guys think then. Are you excited for week 9 of Summer of Pain? Are you excited for what's to come after week 9? Personally, for me, like now, one of the most pressing questions is what are going to be the rewards for this quest in itself. But yeah, all that being said, I will just skedoodle out of here. See you guys. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about